Junie B. Jones and that Meanie Jim's birthday. Chapter 6, Daydreaming. Mrs. took attendance. Attendance is when you say, I'm here, except if you're not here, you have to be quiet. Also, we said, I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. That is called opening ceremonies, I think. After that, we sat down and Mrs. passed out our workbooks. She told us the pages to turn to. It was work about different kinds of shapes, like circles and squares and triangles. I'm a breeze at that stuff. Only I couldn't even concentrate very good on account of I kept daydreaming about the birthday party. Daydreaming is just like night dreaming, only it's not night, and you're not asleep, and you're not dreaming. I kept on thinking about how everybody was going to that party, only not me, and I was the only one in all of room 9. I wish Lucille and Grace weren't going too, I thought just to myself, because that would be nice sports of them. After a while, I tapped on Lucille. You are my bestest good friend, I said to her. Lucille smiled at me. You are my bestest good friend too, she said. I touched her new dress. You look very precious today, I said. Lucille fluffed herself. Thank you. You look very precious today too, she said back. I touched her fingernails with polish on them. I wish you and me could be twins, I said. Me too. I wish you and me could be twins too, she said. Just then my whole face got happy. Lucille, I just thought of something. You and me can pretend we are twins, and we can do everything just the same. And on Saturday, you can come to my house, and I will put nail polish on my nails just like you, and you'll stay home from that birthday party just like me. Lucille didn't say anything back. I tapped on her. How come you're not talking, twin? I said, how come you're not saying anything back? 'Cause I want to go to the party. That's why, said Lucille. I did a huffy breath at her. Yes, Lucille, I know you want to go to the party, but now you and me are twins, and twins have to do everything just the same. And so if I don't go to the party, then you can't go to the party too, on account of that's twin rules. No, it's not, said Lucille. My cousins are twins, and one is a boy, and one is a girl, and they don't do anything alike. I jumped up from my chair. Yeah, only that's not the kind of twin I want to be, madam, I yelled. Mrs. snapped her loud fingers at me. Sit down, she hollered. Just then that Jem I hate turned around in his chair, and he laughed real mean at me 'cause I was in trouble. Turn around, you fatty head, I said. Only he didn't turn around. And so that's how come I had to run to his table, and I had to turn it around for him. Junie B. Jones, shouted Mrs. What are you doing? I'm turning around his fatty head, I explained. Mrs. hurried to where I was. Then she took my arm and she marched me into the hall. She pointed to Principal's office. Go, she said, real angry. I did a gulp. Yeah, only I'm not actually supposed to go there anymore. Because me and my mother had a talk about it, and she said for me not to get sent there again. Mrs. Face got red as a tomato. She started counting numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4. And so that's how come I hurried and walked. Because teachers who count numbers are the scariest kind there is. Chapter 7. My Story This Time by Junie B. Jones. Principal is the boss of the school. He lives at his office. I have to go there when I'm unruly. Unruly is the school word for not being ruly. There's a typing lady there. She isn't allowed to smile. Sit down, she said. She pointed at the blue chair. Yeah, only I don't actually like to sit there, remember that? 'Cause that is where the bad kids sit, and I'm not even bad. I explained. I explained to her that to her every time I go. The typing lady leaned over the counter at me. She made her face look scary at me. Sit down, she said. I sat down. Then I pulled my frog jumper over my face so nobody could see me. Pull your skirt back down, she said. Yeah, only I'm actually allowed to do this because I have on tights, I said. See them? They are green with little tadpoles on them. Just then I heard Principal's voice. Well, well, Junie B. Jones, what a surprise, he said. My mouth dropped all the way open. Hey, I hollered from under my dress. How did you know it's me under here? 'Cause you can't even see my face. Lucky guess, said Principal. After that I uncovered my head and me and him went to his office. I climbed up in the big wood chair. Principal looked very tired-ish. He rubbed his sides of his baldy head. Okay, let's hear it. What's your story this time? He said. I sat up straight and tall. My story this time, by Junie B. Jones. Once upon a time, I didn't get invited to a Meanie boy's birthday, and I am the only one in all of room 9 who isn't going. So that's how come I was moving today. Only Mother brought me to school very stiff, and then I was a buzzing bee. Only crybaby William is a squealer, and Lucille won't be a good twin. And so then Mrs. yelled at me, and that's how come I had to twist that Jim's head, and now I'm sitting here in this big wood chair. I folded my hands in my lap. The end. Principal put his head down on his desk. I peeked at him. Are you lying low? I whispered. He sat up again. Then he called my mother on the telephone. Those two talk very often. This time they talked about the birthday party and how I'm not invited. After he hanged up, Principal looked nicer to me. I guess sometimes we grown-ups think we're the only ones with problems, he said. We forget that even when you're little, life can be tough. Can't it, Junie B? Yes, I said. Life can get your goat. After that, me and him went out to his office, and he lifted me into that blue chair again. I want you to wait here a minute, he said. There's someone I have to talk to before I can get this settled. Yeah, only guess what? I don't actually want to sit in this chair, I explained, on account of this is where the bad kids sit, and I'm not even a bad kid. Principal thought and thought, then he snapped his finger. I think I might have the perfect solution, he said. He went to his office and brought out a giant shopping bag. What if we hide you under here? He asked. If we hide you under this bag, no one will be able to see you at all. I jumped up and down, very excited, because hiding is my favorite thing in the whole world. That's why. Principal sat me down in the chair, and he put the giant shopping bag over my head. Hey, who turned out the lights? I said. Then I laughed and laughed, because that is called comedy, of course. I bended my knees and pulled them under the bag. I hugged them real tight. Now all you can see is the tippy toes of my shoes, I said, very happy. This is the perfect solution I ever saw. And so how do you even think of this wonderful thing, I asked. Only Principal didn't answer back, because he probably went back to his office already. After that, I hid it inside my bag. I hid it a real long time. I guess it was like a jillion years, I think. Guess what? This has taken longer than a minute, I said from inside there. The typing lady didn't answer me. Yeah, only guess what else? My knees are very bended and squished in here, I said, and so this isn't good for my circulation, probably. Just then my legs started squirming all around because getting ants in my pants, that's why. Hey, doesn't anybody have ears? Get me out of here right now, because I'm at the end of my rope in this thing. Plus also, I'm getting ants in my... All of a sudden, someone yanked the bag right off my head. It was the scary typing lady. Pants, I said, very soft. She took me back to Principal's office, and guess what? That Jim was in there. He was sitting in the big wood chair, and Principal was frowning at him. Junie B., our friend Jim here has something he wants to say to you, don't you, Jim? Asked Principal. That meanie Jim didn't answer. He kept on looking at his feet. Principal tapped his fingers. We're waiting, Jim, he said. Then that Jim did a huffy breath, and he said the words, I'm sorry. Principal raised up his eyebrows. Sorry for what, Jim? Tell Junie B. what you're sorry for. That Jim stared at his feet some more. I'm sorry I didn't give her an invitation to my party, he said grumpily. But your mother told you to, didn't she, Jim? Said Principal. Your mother told you to give an invitation to every single person in your class. But you got mad at Junie B and you decided not to give her one. Isn't that right? That meanie boy did his shoulders up and down. I guess, he said real soft. Principal crossed his arm. And so what are you going to do to correct the problem? He asked. That Jim waited and waited. Then all of a sudden he got down from his chair and he holded out an invitation to me. My stomach did a flippy flop. For me? Is that really for me? I said, very squealing. Then I snatched that thing right out of his hand and I zoomed all around the room. Oh boy, I said, it's really for me. It's really for me. And so now I'm not the only one. I zoomed all around the big wood chair. Principal looked nervous at me. He hurried up and opened his door. Then I zoomed right out of there and I didn't stop till I got to room 9.